Hey guys, it's me Chloe and I'm back with another video. Today I'm coming with this is a part, well, it's not a part 2 because it's not a vlog. It's a story time, but it's kind of a part 2 to my nipple piercing vlog because I got some more to add on about my journey, or it's kind of like an update. All right, it's an update video, so let's rewind a bit.
Motivation that I feel I need. Ooh.
Hey guys, it's me Chloe and I'm back with another video. This is a nipple piercing update. As you guys, it's a fly. As you guys have seen before, if you watched my vlog, I got my nipples pierced in the month of September. I don't know when I'm going to be posting this video, so I got it done mid-September, and I ain't even gonna go into detail about what that vlog was about. Just tap into that vlog either right now or after this video because it's just gonna make sense. But I decided to get my nipples pierced, kind of spur of the moment idea. Me and my friend, we went to go get some piercings and we went to find them for like an affordable price, but still somebody who's licensed and like, you know, who knows what they're doing. We didn't want no like basement type of piercings or nothing like that. We wanted the real deal for a good price. So she ended up telling me about somebody who is known in Philly for like tattoos and piercings. He's licensed and like shouldn't be no problem, and it's affordable, like literally what we were looking for. So boom, I'm like, all right, boom, that's fine with me. It was supposed to be $50 for my piercings and they sounded about right. So I'm like, boom, let's go. So upon getting there, I'll just give you a little recap. We got there, the place wasn't the cleanest place, but I know like when I go to certain places, I'm always looking for cleanliness. I just feel like as an establishment, it should always have some form of cleanliness to it. But I know that's not always going to be the deal. So I try to stay away from certain places when it's dealing with like food or something that's going to be going like into my well-being. Like if it could harm me down the line, like somewhere where you're gonna get a piercing from, something that may cause an infection or something might go wrong where you don't really want something to go wrong with your body. I try to stay away from places like that. But I was like, hey, I know tattoo shops aren't typically like, you know, the known for the best type of like, you know, service and cleanliness, even though that's what you should be looking for when you're going to be doing something major to your body. You should be looking for the cleanest place, the place where you're going to feel the most safe and all that jazz. You know how that goes. But I'm like, hey, we're here. I know a lot of people go here. She recommended it. So it's like, I'm going to just follow through. And I already kind of know the deal with tattoo shops. They don't have the best reputation when it comes to stuff like that. So we got there, we made appointments the day prior. For mine, I had to make a $20 deposit, which was no problem. Boom, I did that online. We booked the day before to go. And my friend, she was getting her ears pierced. She was supposed to get a tattoo as well, but if you watched the vlog, you knew what happened with that. So when we got there, boom, we waited for about 15 minutes. I got there right on time. I got there 15 minutes before my scheduled time, and they say be there 15 minutes before your appointment. Hers was at like say 3:30 and mine was at 3:45. We arrived at 3:30. They had us wait in for about 30 minutes while they finished up with somebody else, and the customer service wasn't really up to par. They didn't have a receptionist, so I literally had to walk to the back and say, hey, I have an appointment for this time and I just want to let somebody know that I'm here. And they was like, okay, just sit down back in the front. So I'm like, all right, I shouldn't have to go and say that I'm here for my appointment. There should be some form of receptionist, but we don't got to get into all that. I know not all establishments are the same, and how you want to run your shop is how you want to run your shop. So anywho, I got the piercing, I vlogged it, of course, cool. As I told you guys in the vlog, the only part that hurt was the actual needle going through my nipple itself. Other than that, it didn't hurt. A few days went on, say like 3 days. There was a little bit of tenderness, but it didn't hurt. So the thing about me getting the piercing, when I was there and he asked me, oh, he brought out the box of like, you know, jewelry, and there were various colors. So he asked me what color I wanted. When I was there, I was like, oh, I don't think I want the ones with diamonds because I feel like that may look tacky. My friend was like, just get them. And he was like, you might as well get them too. I think that's going to be cuter. And I was like, all right, both of them were saying get the diamonds. So I'm like, all right, boom, I'm gonna get the diamonds. I only wanted the regular, you know, looking diamonds. I didn't want any color. I wanted just a plain diamond. That might have some makeup on it, so I know it might look a little dingy, but hey. So I got it, and that was that. So 3 days later, let's fast forward. The piercing, like my nipple, it stayed hard. It didn't, like, you know, soften down, so you could see it through my shirt. And I was like, okay, I guess that's just how it's gonna stay, since there's literally a bar going through my nipple. I didn't have a problem with that. Just kind of knew what I was in for. So a few days go by, and I noticed that on my right boob, the hole on this side, my right side of my right nipple, it started getting bigger. And it started getting bigger because, well, I ain't even gonna say why yet, but let me tell you, I was washing my, rinsing my nipple, cleaning it with saline wound wash. I literally had to ask the guy when I was there, like, what am I supposed to do maintenance wise? He didn't tell me. He was just, you know, basically once he was done the piercing, he was done. He didn't tell me. I asked, and I actually had to ask twice for him to tell me because he didn't pick up on it the first time. So with that being said, I was literally just spraying the wound wash on there and kind of wiping it with a Q-tip for the maintenance. I was doing it to like 2 to 3 times a day as he said to do. So around the 3rd day after the piercing, I noticed it getting bigger. But mind you, my friend had told me, make sure you're turning the bar so it doesn't, like, you know, the piercing doesn't heal straight in your boob like you're supposed to turn it. So I'm like, all right, I've been turning it since I got it done. Each time I wash, you know, rinse, whatever you want to call it, the nipple, my nipple, I was rinsing it and I was turning it, you know, whatever, all that jazz. So when I noticed that this side, the hole was getting bigger, the piercing started going in my boob. Say this is my nipple, this is the piercing right here. As the hole is getting bigger, it's not closing up and healing, it's getting wider. And I don't know what the maintenance of it is. I don't know what the healing process of it is. So I'm kind of like, oh, maybe it's supposed to do that. So the piercing started going in, the body jewelry started going into my nipple. So me, being the person I am, I YouTubed what's the deal about that. I think I YouTube what happens when your nipple piercing starts going into your nipple or something like that. And then I watched a video. It was a guy and he was saying that basically, don't be alarmed, that just means you probably need a longer bar. You just need longer jewelry. It's kind of typical, it happens sometimes, but nothing to worry about, just go get a longer bar. So I'll let maybe another day, 2 days pass until I started really worrying about it again. I thought it was just gonna kind of, you know, start closing up, or maybe the hole would start closing by that time so I don't have to keep pushing the piercing out. And then 2 more days go by and I realized that my other nipple is doing the same thing. The other piercing, the other side, is coming into my boob. So I'm like, I don't see where the healing process is gonna be any good, given that I literally have to keep pushing the piercing out, the body jewelry out. I don't see how it's gonna heal correctly. So I was talking to my friend again. This is my other friend, this is not him, my guy friend. But he was telling me that he knew somebody who had piercings, and he was like, well, I think you should go get it looked at because you don't want the piercing to heal, the hole to heal that wide. And I was like, yeah, I know, but I looked it up or whatever, it says it's pretty typical, so I'm gonna just give it another day or so. So I give it another day or so and I'm like, all right, no, I can't do this. I need to find out if everything's all right. I knew it wasn't an emergency, but for my sanity, I just kept worrying about it because I'm like, it doesn't hurt, but I don't see it healing properly like this. So I go all the way up, a 30-minute drive. I drive myself out there to see if, it was actually a Sunday, I remember the day. It was a Sunday and I drove myself to the shop that I got it pierced at and they were closed. So I drove to another shop and they were very, very helpful. It was clean in there. The customer service was everything and all that jazz. Guys, my camera is dying, so I'll be right back. All right, guys, so I'm back. Now, back to what I was saying. I was saying that when I went to the new place, it was very clean. They were very professional and COVID friendly because they were definitely following by the guidelines. Masks had to be worn. I had to call in order to be even let in the building, and it was really appointment only, but they had an opening, so they decided to, like, you know, squeeze me in basically. So as I walked in there, the lady greeted me and she was on the phone, so she just asked me to hold on. She said I could take a seat. So I took a seat until she was finished. After 2 minutes of being on the phone, she told me I could follow her upstairs to the person who was going to be helping me. When I got there, they greeted me very nicely, and I went into the room with the piercing lady. So she basically asked me what was going on, and I told her I didn't come here. I went to another shop, but they were closed. So I wanted to get an immediate answer and see if this was basically normal. She asked me to lift up my shirt, and upon lifting up my shirt, she was like, yeah, it looks fine. She was like, basically there's just some swelling, and if anything, you're gonna need a longer bar. You could either get that done here, or you could go back to the place that you got it done. And sorry for the noise in the background, either or would be fine. And she said there's no immediate need to get them switched out, but if I would be more comfortable with getting them switched out, just give it about a week or so and see if it, like, you know, goes down a little bit and if it starts to heal properly. And don't worry about it, just carry on with, you know, the basic maintenance of it or whatever, what have you. And if I don't feel comfortable, just come back in. She could help me and switch them out, or go back to where I got them done, and they should be able to switch it out for me. So I told her, you know, thank you, of course, and I left, and I decided to give it a few more days. So after about a day or two, I decided to go back to the shop that I went to because it wasn't healing the way I wanted it to. I just didn't like the look of the piercing going into my boob. I didn't see that being the most effective way for it to heal. So upon going back there, I went at around, I want to say around 2 o'clock. There was a bug right there. I ain't get it though. Sorry. So I went to the shop. I went back to the shop a day or two after that, and I went to where I had actually got my nipples pierced. So because I wanted to get it done for free, I didn't want to go somewhere else and just to have the bar switched out. If they made a mistake by giving me a bar too small, or if it didn't work for my boob, I felt like they should have been able to do it for free. And if I didn't go to where I got it done, obviously they would have to charge me. So I went back to where I got my piercing done, and I went around 2 o'clock, and I looked up their opening time and whatever. It said around like 11 or 12, so I knew they should have been open. So upon arriving there, I parked and I went to the door, and they weren't open. Nobody was in there, and I knew nobody was in there because the chairs, they were like sat on top of the tables. You know, when you clean up and whatever for a place of business, that's typically how they clean and, you know, close up. So I decided to wait. I was gonna sit there and wait for 10 minutes because I'm like, I don't feel like keep driving 30 minutes out to not be able to get anybody. Mind you, I was calling before trying to get a hold of somebody, no answer. So I'm like, yeah. So that wasn't working too well. So upon me waiting, there was an Amazon delivery guy, and he knocked on the door and there was still no answer. So I'm like, okay, I know there's nobody in there, but I decided to just give it 10 minutes. So after a little bit, like, people literally went into the store, the workers who worked there, they opened up, and I was like, I'm gonna let them get settled in. So I'm like, let me give them 5 minutes. Then I walked up in there. So when I walked in there, there was 3 people. There were 2 females and 1 guy. There was 1 female, the guy was in the middle. One of the females, she was standing, she was sitting down in a chair on one side of him, and there was a black female, she was sitting on the other side, and the guy in the middle, he was rolling up a blunt, which is weed. If you don't know what that is, he was rolling up some weed. So I'm like, I don't know if they're really open, but that wasn't the most professional thing. But mind you, I'm like, it's a tattoo shop. I didn't expect it to be the most professional place, even though there are establishments that hold up to that professional setting. So I'm like, okay.